Get yourself comfy on the floor. We're going to need a belt. And we shall start. So we're going to start lying on our backs. And then the first thing I like to do before we start is just bring your hands, one onto your belly and one onto the chest. And we're encouraging abdominal breathing. So taking an inhale in, connecting to where the way the belly rises, getting that sense. So trying to encourage, you're going to feel the ribcage go as well, trying to encourage more sensation in the hands on the abdomen. So lengthening the inhale. Unless that makes you feel uncomfortable, in which case go back to normal breathing. But the reason for lengthening the inhale is to get that sense of it inflating. And the belly moving away from the spine, and there's a spaciousness that comes with that, and then the belly sinks back towards the spine on the exhale. And there's a flowing movement. It's nice and rhythmical. Sometimes it's you breathe in and out through the nose. There's a sort of comparison to the sound of the sea. And the breath is where we interface with the external world and our internal self. That's where they come together. So feel that exchange taking place. And this pose is very good for if you've got lower back issues. It's great if you can find some time to lie like this. Maybe if you've got something to read. Just releases lets all the muscles and around the lower back, around the spine there, just release. There's no weight bearing. So it's very good for the body. And now we're going to just slide so sticking with doing things for the lower back, we're going to just curl your bottom towards the floor. So your pelvis is tilting up and there's a sense of increased contact of the hips against the floor, yeah? Just slide one foot away and then bring it back. And the heel stays on the floor. Slide the other foot away. So you're increasing the sensation of the lower back and hips into the floor. Slide it back. And you'll feel as you push the foot away, the pelvis tries to tilt the other way. So don't push as hard. Keep that tilt of the pelvis and the hips pushing into the floor. So I'm just going to do that 3 or 4 times each side. You want the heel to stay on the floor. There's a tendency to lift the heel up, but then you're doing muscular engagement that will make the lumbar curve come back. So we're sort of flattening out the lumbar curve. And this lengthens and strengthens the ligaments either side of the spine. So end with the opposite side from the one you started with. And once you've done that, I'd now like you to just keep the left leg stretched out with the heel pushing to the heel of the left leg, and then draw the right knee towards the chest. So you might use your belt, or you might or alternatively, you might get behind the knee. That's one option. Creates a bit of space in the legs and can allow you to bring your shoulder blades back and down. So I'm going to go with that pose. If you want to, you can take the hands around wrap them around the front of the knee. Completely your choice. And you're pulling the knee in towards the chest. As you inhale, feel the belly expanding and the knee moving away from the chest. And then as you exhale, actively draw it in. Roll your shoulders back and down, get them in contact with the floor. Just check there's not additional tension there. So you're not like this. Take the shoulders back and down, yeah? You see that? Rolling them, getting the shoulder blades in contact with the floor. And keep pulling the knee in. Okay. And then I'd like you to just rotate your toes, so your ankle. So you're just going to turn the ankle one way and then turn it the other. Then put your hand on your left hip and take the right knee out to the side. So same, still working the same way. So I've got hold of the leg. I'm not holding onto the knee, I'm holding just below the knee. Keep the hand on the left hip and the left shoulder down. So the stretch is happening in the hip flexors and you're not turning the upper body. Okay, the spine's not doing anything. And then let that go. Now do circles with just that one knee. So I'm drawing a circular movement. It goes 3 times one way and 3 times the other. And then place that knee back on the floor. Sorry, not the knee, the foot. Bring in the other foot and swap sides. So now the left foot's on the floor and the right knee, the right foot is pushing away. You're pushing to the heel of the right foot and the toes will flex back towards you. And then get hold of the left knee. And repeat. So check if your shoulders aren't getting tight. Get hold of the knee, whichever way was best before. As you exhale, actively tug the knee in towards the belly. And then I'd like you to rotate the toes. So making circular movements with the toes going one way, and then circular movements going the other way. And then after you've done that, it's the circles, making a circular motion. So as if I was drawing a circle on the ceiling with my knee. Imagine you have a pen sticking straight up attached to the leg and you're drawing a circle. 3 times one way, and then 3 times the other, more or less. Hands coming onto the right hip, right shoulder down, taking the leg out to the side. So don't want to get hold of the knee, so find somewhere that allows you to encourage hip flexors to open, but it's not putting any strain on the knee. Okay. And then bring the legs back. So we've got both feet on the floor. So now I'd like you to take your belt. We're going to do the right foot again. So I'm going to hook the foot, take the leg up. Doesn't have to be really, really high. You want to get a stretch along the back of the leg. Yes, so get the belt. Marilyn, you got your belt? Yeah. And then pull it. Yeah. So the toes are coming back towards you and the stretch is all along the back. You can extend the other leg if you want. It's completely up to you. Or keep the foot on the floor. Okay. And then put the other foot on the floor. So left foot's on the floor and draw the foot as close towards you as you can. Hold the leg. So I can feel that my bottom tilts now, my hips are tilting the other way. And if you want to, you can get hold of the leg if that feels accessible to you. And bring the head towards the leg, but really not essential. This is releasing the whole of the back of the leg, yeah? So that's an optional extra. It's not really going to change the stretch fundamentally. So then I'm bringing that foot back down and I'm swapping sides. So we're going for the other side. So hook the foot. And this is working not just the back of the leg, it's getting into the glutes as well. And there's the two options. You've got the right leg extended, or right leg. If you know you've got a lower back issue, good idea to keep the right leg bent with the foot on the floor. Draw the toes towards you. The left foot, feel the way that makes strengthens the stretch on the back of the leg. And again, if you did this on the other side, if you've got hold of the leg and you encourage the head towards the knee, then repeat that on this side. But the optional extra, it's not really. Our focus here is the back of the leg, really. And then release. Okay, now let the foot come back to the floor. So both feet are on the floor. We're going to stay getting into the glutes and getting into the muscles on the back of the leg. So my right leg is coming over on my left in a very tight cross of the knees. And then we're going to take hold of the right leg. So right arm's gone on to just below the right knee. Left arm's can go further down the leg. And then you're pulling that top leg actively towards your belly button. And the stretch is going to be glutes, piriformis, sciatica nerve, deep nerves in the leg. Same thing when you're exhaling, release slightly on the on the inhale, release slightly, on the exhale, draw the knee towards the midline of the body. So as soon as you move the knee over a bit more towards the midline, not just in, you'll feel that stretch. There's usually some muscles in there that are tight. So as you inhale, imagine the breath becoming more spacious, creating space there. And as you exhale, imagine those muscles lengthening with the release of the air. So keep putting it in, keep searching for sensation. And then we're going to let that go and do the other side. So tight cross again, getting hold of top of the leg and somewhere lower down on the top of the leg and pulling it in towards the midline. And it does depend where you're tight. You might feel this in the IT band as well on the side of the leg. Take some deep breaths. And do the visualization. So spaciousness is created around any tight muscles on the inhale, and then on the exhale, they lengthen and release. Some of you might find it comfortable to get hold of both of the feet and do cowbell or cowboy stretch. Well, that's going to shift it. It takes it more to the hips, so I'm sticking with this piriformis stretch. Okay, and then we're going to let that go. So you're going to release the legs, let the feet come back to the floor. And we're going to go into a reclining twist. So we're taking the hands really wide and putting the knees towards the chest, and then on an exhale, I'm coming towards the camera, so I'm going to my right. I've taken my right hand onto my left thigh to strengthen the stretch. Now, you take advantage of the fact that you're at home. If you want to put a cushion between the knees, there's quite a bit of space there. That can be really lovely to feel supported in the pose. It's nice to feel supported anyway. But supported in this pose, it will help. It helps the knees, it helps the whole of the leg relax. Don't have to have your hands here, that's just to intensify the stretch. And once you're in position, look over your left shoulder. So you're getting a nice stretch in the neck as well. And then slowly draw the knees back up to centre. And let them come in a controlled way across the body, so they're not going to flop. You're using your oblique muscles, abdominal muscles, for them to come over to the other side. Same thing. Hand on the upper thigh is optional. Props underneath the knees. So either between the knees or underneath the knee doesn't get to the ground. And once you're in position, the last move of all is to just turn and look over the right hand. Take a couple of deep breaths here. You can feel the expansiveness that happens. Hello. Michelle's just sneaked into class. Welcome. And take a couple of deep breaths. You'll feel the spaciousness this creates in the side of the body. It's working everywhere else as well. It's just you can feel it here because of the alignment of the body. And then bring the legs back up to centre. And draw the knees into the chest. Hug the knees in. Bring the forehead up towards the knees. Draw the belly in. And then release. So you might want the belt on the feet, or you might just grab behind the belt, behind the legs. Completely up to you. We're taking the legs up high, and then we're taking them over. So this is again stretching the glutes. There was a request for glutes, and stretching the backs of the legs. Opening up the backs of the legs, okay? So you can do it with the belt, which is quite nice for keeping the shoulders in contact with the floor. Or you might get hold of them with your hands. Again, it's completely up to you. Whatever feels most comfortable. And what you're aiming for is you're drawing the toes towards the shin. It's just getting a stretch. So I would go probably, I'd go for straight legs and go lower if I need to. Actually, I'd try both. I'd try the bent legs as well. So I do, if your legs are bent, I would ease off with the belt and hold the pose for a minute. Concentrate on the toes towards the shin and sort of towards the body and how that's opening up the back. And then, having done that, I will now release the belt and get my hands behind the legs, bending the knees if that makes it easier. Rolling the shoulders back and down and drawing the thighs towards the belly and getting that stretch in the glutes, yeah? So whichever feels good for you. And then think about trying to push into the lower back, so trying to tilt the pelvis in the opposite direction. So you're now trying to get your lower back, just as we did at the start where we were pushing our lower back into the floor. Do that now and feel how that changes muscular engagement. I'm pushing this part of the body actively into the floor, so my buttocks. And it's the sacrum. You've got the sacrum and pushing right now. Okay, and then let that go. So then bring the knees slowly, bend the knees, bring the feet back to the floor. And we're staying with the hips. That was the back of the legs. Now we're moving into the hips. So we're going to do eye of the needle. Take your right foot first and place it across your left leg. So left foot's on the floor, left knee's in the air, right foot's come up. And you have two options. You can push into the thigh of the right leg. This can create a nice opening here in the hip flexors. So that's the bent leg. You're pushing into the thigh of the bent leg. Moving on the breath. Make sure that the foot's flexed. So the right leg, the one that's on top of the knee, not the one on the floor, make sure it's flexed, which means the toes are coming back towards the shin. Yeah, just that will protect your knee. And if you want to, you can thread the needle. So that would be to bring the hands through. hold the back of the left leg. And you can also think about bringing the left leg up into the air if you want to make that active. Just keep getting that stretch in the back of the legs. Completely optional. All three versions are going to give you slightly different stretch. If you've got an open needle, you can think about pushing the right thigh away if that knee's in quite close. Whichever option you've gone for, relax into the pose. And then we're going to, if you had the left leg in the air, please take it to the floor. You're going to get hold of the right ankle with my left hand, and then I'm going to keep that cross. I'm keeping this wide cross in the legs, yeah? And I'm taking that foot now towards the floor. So this should get in the glutes. So the other way, come towards me around. That's it, beautiful. And again, if you need to put support, it's quite nice to have the foot supported. So if you need to put support there, please do. Take advantage of all the props you've got at home. Don't let there be any strain on the knee. We're targeting the hips and the glutes with this pose. So don't let the knee try and take over from any tightness in the hips, okay? If your foot is in contact with the floor, you can think about pushing the right knee away from the torso and becoming more of a right angle. But that's only if the foot's made it to the floor or the foot is supported. So the foot could be higher up. As long as it's supported the right foot, you can think about working the hip flexors and the glutes a little bit more. Couple of deep breaths. Feel the way the breath ripples through the body and creates space. One more breath. On this last breath, just think about your alignment. Can you increase contact of the shoulder, the right shoulder with the floor? Can you take the right knee away from the torso a little bit more, create more of a stretch? Just feel into it. Just these tiny little muscular adjustments will give us a lot of information and insight into where we're tight. And then let that go. Bring the foot back onto the floor. Before we do the other side, I'm going to windscreen wipe the feet. So I'm going to take the legs really wide, feet really wide, and just gently move both knees one way, and then both knees the other. No sensation in the knees though. This is all about the hips, okay? And the side of the body. So if you're getting any sensation in the hips, please just come to being static with the feet on the floor and the knees in the air. And now we're going to do the same stretch on the other side. So left foot's coming across onto the right thigh, foot's flexed. So that's as if you were walking. When I say flexed, it's as if you were walking with your foot. And then repeat whatever you did on the other side. So the stretching into the hip flexors can be really good. So that's pushing on your left thigh. Because of sitting in chairs, and if you've got props and you need to move them in prep for the other side, please do. I know this is my tighter side. Might just check you've got props in your bike, because it might be that you didn't need them on the other side, but you're going to need them on this side. So option one is pushing into the thigh, so pushing the leg away from the torso. Moving on the breath, I'm doing that on the exhale. Or threading the needle if you did that last time. And if you took the leg up last time, then repeat that on this side, please. And it might be that you can push your left arm into the left side. It just really depends on the length of your legs your torso, quite a few variables in that, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Main focus is that this foot's active, the bent left foot is active, and that's going to protect your knee. So this is working on the left side, it's working with glutes, it's working the IT band, hip flexors, that will all on the side. Great. Okay, and then bring the foot back to the floor. So you need a wider cross, Marianne, wide cross, yeah? That's it, lovely. And then take it in the direction of the floor. So this is my tight side, so I do need some sort of support. Ideally, I'd have a block under my foot, which would just support the leg and let it release. Really beneficial. So I'm illustrating what not to do because I've got my foot suspended above the ground. And you can't release as well the left leg if that's not supported. So I might take my shoulder, not going to take my shoulder up so it's not completely in contact with the floor, and I'm going to concentrate on getting that foot supported. Okay? And you look over the extended arm. And same thing, taking some nice deep breaths. And then release. You okay? Bring the foot back up. And release. And just feel that for a minute. How does that feel? All right. So we're going to do some more hip, 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 more hip at the moment. Going to get hold of the foot once again with the belt. And I'm going to put it towards me. So we're really working those glutes. Might be that you can get hold of the foot and then you can get a bit of a toe stretch in there. It's really, yeah, that's not really part of the flow, so don't worry about that. And then we're going to take that foot out to the side. I'm going to stretch out my other leg. If your lower back gives you issues, you might want to keep that leg bent. It's completely up to you. And I'm taking the leg out to the side. And again, I'm adjusting my shoulders and making sure my shoulders are both in contact with the floor, so the spine is in contact with the floor. And this is optional. You can bring the left leg knee in towards you, get hold of the shin, or possibly the foot, and take the knee out to the side. Okay. So it's like I'm doing Happy Baby with one side, and I've got a straight extended leg with the other. And then bring both legs back to centre. Release the belt. Then our foot comes to the floor. Swap sides. So option. Left leg's coming up into the air. Think about toes coming back towards you. Pull the foot towards you for a minute. If you want to, you can take the head towards the knee. You'll get even the stretch in the shoulders as well. And then you're taking the foot out to the side. And you can stay like this, or you could have the foot. Well, ideally, you have the foot stretched out. Or the second option was to get hold of either the shin or the thigh and take this leg out to the side. Okay, so taking my right leg out to the side, or you can get hold of the toe and do the equivalent of happy baby. So lots of options there, whichever feels good for you, so you're feeling into it. So get a strong stretch down the side of the leg, and working hip flexion on the line. So that's just as good a stretch. If that's tightening up your shoulders, getting hold of the knee or the shin, then hold on to the thigh and keep your shoulder in contact with the floor. Bring the legs back to centre and release. Now I want to do circles with the knees. So knees coming to the chest, got my hands on my knees, or you might have them on the backs of the thighs, and I'm drawing circular motions with my knees, and there's a lot more space there now. So knees going one way, and then change direction, and have the knees going the other way. Okay, and then the last stretch of the back of the legs, pulling onto our front. So just taking the legs up and pulling them over the body. So pulling them towards you, so you might want to do that with your holding onto the feet, or holding onto the backs of the legs, thighs, whatever works for you. Okay. So now we're going to come over onto our front. So rolling onto the side, coming over onto your front. And I'm going to do some cat-cows, please. So we're going to do 3 cat-cows, just waking up the spine. And then take your hands out to the side and do a cat-cow with your hands out to the side. And then possibly take your hands back. But again, go easy on the wrists. This is going to work the forearms quite strongly. I'm taking my hands back to the front. I'm going to look back to my tail. Swinging the hips vigorously from side to side, getting some movement there. And then a rippling. So come back towards your heels. And then forward and up. So it's like a cat-cow, but you're arching up and then you're bringing your bottom towards your heels, coming forward, up, really arching, back towards your heels. Inhaling forwards and coming up, exhaling, hollowing the belly, taking your bottom towards your heels. If you wanted to make this more exaggerated, you could come through and push up into downward dog. We're staying as this, but a more exaggerated version would be come forward. So, finishing with that, what we're going to do now is you're going to bring your right hand more into a sort of more central position. And we're going to inhale, take the left hand up, exhale, so that you're moving on the breath and keeping this. Shoulder comes towards the floor. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale. Come back to all fours. And then I'd like you to stay with the left hand, to take the left hand and do some circular motions. So you're following the hand with your gaze and opening up. Side to the body, okay? And then come back to taking the hand up and then underneath, moving on the breath. Inhaling up, exhaling through. Inhale up and exhale through. And then come back to all fours. We'll do 2 cat-cows and repeat that on the other side. Arching. Exhale and arch. Inhale and extend the crown of the head. So, same thing on the other side now. So you're going to bring right hand up in the air. If I move my hand into the middle, that might not help you, in which case take it back. Completely up to you. Exhale, take the arm underneath the body. Inhale and exhale. So this is working the side of the body and also the shoulders. Inhale. If it's too much, if you start feeling tired, feel free to come into child's pose, which would be where you just rested back and drew the head towards the floor. Otherwise, 2 more. And then we come to rotating the hands five times plus and following it with our gaze. So I find having the hands in the middle here really beneficial. Right. And we'll all come into child's pose, so feet come, knees come wide. Push back into child's pose. If you want to make it a keep with the shoulders, you can make it an active child's pose. So you've got your fingertips on the floor. Or just rest down. And then from here, we're going to slide forwards. And come onto our belly. And then I want you to bring your elbows in close, engage your quads, the front side, so pulling them up so the legs are really active, and just raising yourself up in a gentle back arch, so it's cobra pose. And you can, if you want, you can take the hands off the floor. Keep those legs engaged so the knees will come off the floor. And then rest down. Rest for a minute. Put the hands in front of the forehead, rest the head on the forehead. Rest the head on the forehead, rest the forehead on the hand. I'm going to do that again. So hands are coming back by the side. Or you can take the palms facing upward if you prefer. And do a version of locust. So you'd be stretching the hands back. And same thing about engaging the legs. It's your choice. You're looking towards the end of your mat, so the neck's relaxed. and then release. Wiggle your bum to release the lower back. We're going to do that one more time. Okay, last time, so choose which of the two. If you're going for a cobra, roll the shoulders back. Okay. And then on an inhale, optional to take the hands off. Keep them on the floor if you prefer. See if you can use the breath to lift the chest up a bit more. And release. So now we're going to get our belt. So I'm going to come on the side and hook my foot. So I'm hooking my right foot. And then I'm coming back onto the floor. And then holding onto the belt, pulling the, sorry, it's not my right, it's my putting the left foot in towards the bottom. So whichever one you've got with the belt, pull that in towards the bottom. It might be that you don't need the belt. You can go over the foot. And if it's coming comfortably towards the bottom, you can take it up to the side of the bottom and you want to push the top of the thigh into the foot. Keep pushing the top of the thigh into the floor. And then release. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So if you need the belt, roll onto your side and hook the foot. It's the easiest thing to do. And once you've got it securely, roll back onto your front and get hold of the foot. Same thing, you're pulling the ankle towards your bottom and pushing the top of the thigh into the floor, which will really get into the quads and release the front of the legs, so get into the upper front of the legs and the hips. Okay, and then let that go. Push yourself back up onto all fours. And we're going to take our left leg back and our right hand forward. And exhale and bring the knee and elbow together. Inhale, extend. Let's do that 3 times. Exhale. Together. Inhale, extend. Exhale, together. Inhale, extend. Face the leg. And down. Once you've done 3 times, and we're going to swap and do the other side. Go down and go down. Exhale. Inhale, stretch out. Exhale, bring them together. Inhale, stretch out. So that's 3 times either side, and then repeat, okay? Again, if you're feeling a bit tired today, just come to child. You come down to child's pose if you want to stop. Otherwise, repeating it again. 2. Now that's my 3rd on that side. Sorry, I didn't count with. Just go at your own pace, moving on your own breath. If it is slow, that's absolutely fine. Once you've done one side, repeat the last side. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. 3rd time. And then release. Okay, so we're going to come to sitting on our bottoms. Just going to check how we're doing for time. Oh, okay. So we've just got time for a side stretch. So feet are going wide. Yeah. And then we're going to take our right hand up and over towards the left. You can let the hand rest on the back of the neck if you want. Taking a few breaths here. I've got my left elbow wedged into my into my left thigh. But you don't have to do that. Make sure the feet are pointing up and the knees are pointing up, and then release. I'll do the same on the other side. So now my left arms come up, and it's coming to the back of the head. You want to look up actually and just check if you can bring that elbow back slightly. And that's alignment-wise, it just means you're getting into the side of the body rather than doing sort of twisting the shoulders. See if you can reach the elbow back and up a bit more, and then release. Should be a nice stretch on the side of the body. So I'm going to show you, this is reclining butterfly, it's going to be a lot of pose. You have to wiggle out of it into Shavasana. So what I'd like you to do is we're going to do supported butterfly using our belts. I know you've both got yoga belts. If you don't have a yoga belt, you would use cushions either side on the knees. So it's been hips, hips, and more hips and glutes today. So you thread your belt as if you were, so you demonstrate that. I thread my belt, so it's gone through the bottom of the belt buckle and then through the top. So it's just a straightforward thread through, yeah, nothing fancy. See that? Straightforward thread through. Then this is the bit that's important. So what you're going to do is you want to be able to adjust that. You take the belt over the head. This is nice if you've got time to sort of lie and do hip openers. So it comes low. Doesn't come on the waist, it comes down by your bottom. And you want to be able to tighten it. So you're going to make sure you've got the buckle coming towards you. Can be a bit of a pickle getting out. So it comes low here, then it comes inside. This is one of the ones where I kind of wish we were in class. It comes inside the thighs, and then it goes over my feet. Can you see that? Oh, great. So it's low on the hips, it's on the bottom really. It's come inside my thighs, and then it's gone around the bottom of my toes. Okay, and then when I go back, it will start to open. I'm supported, so I'm very supported. And once my hips start to open a bit, my hip flexors open, I can pull on the belt to keep getting that sense of tension and support. All right, and it is a bit of a fiddle. So that's it. So you're going to refine back. If you wanted to make this a back bend as well, you could put a flattish pillow under your back. That might be quite nice. Or bolster if you had a bolster. Get your jumper on because we're going from here into Shavasana, so make sure you're comfy. You can stay on the floor. And once you've got the pose, then ideally you want to have the belt so that you can adjust it. You come back and you can tighten the belt. And there you go, it's a trussed up turkey look. So this is reclining butterfly, okay? So the other option, if you just think I'm going to get stuck with the belt, go for the cushions either side and support your knees. You want the feet to be in the equivalent of prayer, okay? And then we're just lying back and letting the body absorb this. Quite strong hip opener. So you can wiggle the shoulder blades again, just check that there's this broadness across the chest, do a little bit on the shoulders, open the shoulders and the side of the body. You may feel more space in the upper body. Check that you are not cranking the neck. It might be that you want a little pillow underneath the head. So you want to go for a little double chin. You don't want to be looking at the wall behind you. You want the neck be released. And then take a big inhale through the nose, once you're comfortable, and an exhale through the mouth. And if you're in reclining butterfly, you can feel that going all the way down to the pelvis to release that onto the exhale. So big inhale through the nose, and exhale through the mouth. If you feel like you've done enough on the hips today, you could go for just being in recuperative rest, which is where the feet are on the floor and the knees are in the air. How we started the session when we had our hands connected to the breath. So if you feel you've worked the hips quite enough, please feel free to take that option. Otherwise, inhaling through the nose, big inhale, and then exhale through the mouth. Feel the ripple as the spine reaches towards the floor, releases towards the floor, and is held and supported by the floor. Check there's no clenching of the fists, so the fists are relaxed. You're not holding on to any invisible air. Check there's no clenching in the jaw. Maybe move the bottom jaw from side to side. Or do a big yawn, imitate a yawn, just to release all the muscles around both the top and bottom jaw. Feel that release. And then arch the eyebrows, just to release the muscles around the eye. Let that go. And then any stretch that you feel would be good in the face, scrunching up the face, just to, by having that tension, the sense of release and of relaxing is easier to access sometimes. So do any movement you'd like. And bring your attention now to the nose and the air. We're not trying to control the breath anymore, just the air coming in and out through the nose. What's the quality of your breath today? What's the texture of your breath today? Is the breath coming evenly through both nostrils? Really bringing your attention to the breath. And if you're in the flying butterfly, release yourself out of the flying butterfly, please. And that will actually come to recuperative rest, or slide into full shavasana, where toes will point out. There's some more space has been created here, the hip flexors. So feel all those points of contact with the floor. On the legs, hips, lower and upper back, shoulders, back of the head, possibly back of the arms and back of the hands. Feel all those points of contact with the floor, and imagine yourself releasing. As we name those parts, they release a little bit more into the ground. So back of the head, back of the shoulders, upper back, lower back, hips, backs of thighs, calves, back of the lower leg. And either the feet are in contact with the floor or the heels. And then very slowly, possibly stretch the hands above the head and lengthen through the body, or maybe you wiggle your toes, or rub your fingers together, or move the head very gently from side to side. Do whatever stretch feels good for you. And then when you're ready, just draw the knees slowly into the chest. Behind the knees or in front of the knees, possibly draw your head towards your knee. Taking as much time as you need, slowly roll over onto to one side. And when you're ready, you can either stay on the floor in Shavasana or make your way back up to sitting. And then release yourself from the belt if you have the belt on. And I shall unmute you. Thank you for practicing.